Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Healthcare Marketing Executive Podcast, where I have the gift of being able to speak to some of the best and brightest minds in healthcare marketing who have no easy task in 2025 in today's landscape. But I'm here with Michelle from UST, and welcome. So thrilled to have you. And I'm wondering if you can just let the audience get to know you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Alexis. It's really an honor to be here speaking with you and with the audience for Healthcare Marketing Executive. Yeah, I'm Michelle Park. I am the Global Head of Healthcare and Life Sciences Marketing for a digital transformation firm called UST. Yes. And you can learn more about the work that I do at ust.health.
Love that. Definitely go there. UST is doing some amazing work. Now we are, and I'm sure we'll get to some of that, some of the campaigns you're working on, things you want folks to be aware of. But we're here at Health 2025, just reflecting on the landscape today. I think it's such an opportunity for people to gather together and think about what are the buzzwords, where is the industry going. But on a healthcare sort of marketing perspective, wondering if you can just give me your take on where things are today and where you think things are going.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think within marketing, much like the markets that we're serving, we're seeing such a rapid pace of change. AI, I even call it the buzzword, but just the dominant theme throughout the conference. We presented in the AI pavilion, and our executive who presented said, the whole conference is really the AI pavilion. Like, it's everywhere here. Yeah. And so we're certainly seeing that disruption in the way that we work as well. So as these moments, I think, can be challenging, but also very exciting because it ushers in really an opportunity, right, for disruption and to rethink and to reimagine the way that we all work.
Yeah, I love that. Out of curiosity, what's your prediction for AI in 2026? That could be in relation to digital as a whole, or it could be in relation to marketing. But if you were to guess where things are going.
The pace of change is just so rapid. Yeah. We held our first ever UST Health Summit earlier this year, and we asked all of the executives who came from our client accounts, what do you think is going to happen in 1 year? And they basically said we needed to re-ask the question to be like, what's going to happen in 6 months or 3 months? Because the timescales that we're used to thinking and planning on have just become so fast. So it's hard to say, but I do think it is a moment where we are going to be reimagining our workflows. And I think the agentic AI, the ability to have copilots that work with each sort of individual operational function within marketing is something that we're starting to see. And I think we're going to see continued maturity on that front.
I love that. And so for everyone in our audience, if you're saying, what's agentic AI? I know for me, it was a little bit of a newer term this year. The way I'm thinking about it, maybe Michelle, you can correct me. So there is your large language models like ChatGPT, where you're having a conversation. That's like your standard AI. But agentic AI is truly like a companion that comes alongside you, that works with you, that maybe manages your schedule and gives you ideas about agentic AI.
Yeah, I think in the context of marketing, you could think of it like this. Like you have a copywriter, you maybe have an editor, you have a designer, and now you have a companion or a co-pilot, an agent who can work alongside of you, who can actually ping pong between these different functions, but with that specific lens. And so you're seeing multiple agents that are trained on the same way that a human would be trained. It might be a compliance issue. It might be on certain style guide, or do you use an Oxford comma or not? And you're things like that. And so we're really seeing that can speed up the output.
Yeah. And I think when we talk about AI, there's this recurring conversation on it's going to take over and the robots are going to replace us all. And can you give me a pulse check for where you hear, how you feel the marketing community is responding to these tools? Because for myself, I think it's been mixed. On the one hand, all of these heavily administrative tasks are now light fast, which is unbelievable. But give me your take on how.
Yeah. I may have a biased view that comes from being in the healthcare space. I think in healthcare, it is so care-centric in a way that you can't replace with a bot. And I think we're so constrained by individuals who have the background and training to be able to do that work that there's a real welcoming of technology that can take away some of what has been burdensome. I feel that way in marketing too. We don't have enough resources to support what we're doing. And so to be able to expand our output, but maintain or maybe even expand the number of people that are working in that workflow is definitely a real possibility. So I don't feel the threat as acutely as maybe some marketers in other domains.
Okay.
And I wonder if that's because of the emphasis on human-to-human interaction that's like at the heart of what
And so
we deliver.
in healthcare is so needed. I think another sort of thing that I think about is, as it relates to healthcare marketing, you don't often get to hear what it is. And like, so I'm curious, and just in terms of like busting or just educational awareness, is there anything you wish people knew about healthcare marketing or your own?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think when people look to marketing and to the marketers, whether they're agency resources or internal resources in their organizations, they see us by like the most visual and impactful artifacts that we leave behind. So we're the people who write the catchy headline. We're the people who make the great infographic. We're the people who have that compelling image. There is so much behind that headline and that infographic and that image. And it's really an art and a science of being able to grow your market share. So I always tell people you should think of your marketing team, however you staff that, as the people who really help you to identify and to win the share of market that you want.
Yeah.
And so that means us being constantly the voice of the customer, understanding the products and the solutions really well, finding that product market fit. And I think we are best served when we're used and seen in that light.
I love that. I feel like in my mind, the marketing team, they're the ones who take the strategy and make the consumers feel it.
Yeah, that's right.
You're so right. And I think people outside of marketing wouldn't understand how much goes into even just like a single word choice.
That's right.
Because it's like that art and science, like you said, of the tone and the way that it sounds, is even the alliteration sometimes, too much or too little. There's so much to go into making people feel something and hoping that they'll feel that and do something with it.
That's right. And even before that, you have to know who it is you're talking to and what it is you want them to feel. And it's not just for the sake of creating an emotion or a brand moment, but it is all designed to drive really market share.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. I had one other person on here today where I said, that's an aha moment. And I'm going to say that again. This is the aha moment from the conversation. Love that. Yes, Michelle. So I know we're wrapping up a Health 2025. We're on the road. You're about to be on the road momentarily, which I'm so appreciative of you giving me your take. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to UST, any campaigns, any things that you want everyone to be aware of, any action, you want them to take.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We do so much at UST. We have a presence across payer, provider, and life sciences. So I could talk like ad nauseum about all of those things. We did our first ever CXO Insights digital magazine, which is dedicated to just all of the issues that kind of impact and move markets in this space. So I would definitely encourage people to go to ust.health, check out that digital magazine.
Cool.
We gave a talk here called AI That Works, where members log in. And there were like some really cool takeaways from that. So I look forward to being able to rebroadcast that. Our chief digital officer for healthcare, his name is Ajoy Ranga. I think he really left the audience intrigued and with some really cool ideas. I'll just be like a little bit of a spoiler for the audience and give one of them, but you should certainly watch the whole talk to get more. He was saying that one of the pivots that they've seen in the last recent past is that instead of we have all these disparate data systems by design and by regulation that they don't talk to each other well. And we've been trying to bring them to an AI platform. And now the pivot is we're taking the AI to the data. Yeah. And then instead of trying to work in that different framework where there are all kinds of challenges and reasons why it's patchworked and hasn't been able to be a unified data system, we can actually use agentic technology to go out to the data and then come back and give us what we need to deliver the member or the patient what they need in that exact moment. And I think that is like such a powerful pivot, right?
Yeah, that will change healthcare altogether. Like I just had someone on, healthcare marketing executive earlier at Health, who was talking about how even within their own organization, there's this emphasis on trying to use some of the data that they have, but it's hard to know what lives within the organization and not ability to work with an agent to do that. 'Cause I see a lot of people saying, what data can we pull together and then feed into AI? Add into AI, go to the data. That's one of the freshest takes I've heard lately. So that's really cool. Amazing. Bring the audience up to speed on what we were just doing.
Yeah, we were talking about the challenges and opportunities with democratization of technology, specifically in marketing workflows. And the buzzword, maybe AI slop, came up in that we used to be the gatekeepers of high-end video production and high-end photography, infographics,
blogs, articles,
all of it.
Yeah.
And now people feel very easily empowered to go create their own. And I would say that without the proper prompting, without the proper training, without all of the knowledge and experience that we all bring as marketers, sometimes you get a lot of what looks like AI slop.
Yeah, noise stuff. I think we all know someone who's still posting on LinkedIn, and it's really easy to see that it's a copy paste directly for AI, or we've all read an article where we think that's a copy and paste with no tailoring. Tone isn't right. It feels a little less, it's right. I always say, and hear from the people you know.
That's right.
And I so agree with you. It makes me think of what we were talking about with, will AI replace humans? Definitely not for the near term, because I think marketers are so AI savvy. We have to.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, and that people want to go out, and we love that everyone can create their own tools. But that marketing layer on top really is essential. And I think you were talking about marketing almost being like the gatekeepers and like the control, and it's a new role.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah. It just makes it extra challenging because the cycles for the market are so fast. So the pressure to produce in a quick amount of time is so high.
Yeah.
And we have to balance the quality and the progress over perfection.
Yeah.
But sometimes in highly regulated, complex environments, it doesn't maybe need to be perfect, but there is a level of gatekeeping that needs to happen. And it's very easy for these tools to hallucinate. It's very easy for them to miss some of the really important things. I think as time goes by, you were asking about the progression. I think as time goes by, probably more people are going to be empowered and embedded with some of the things that we think about as marketers when it comes to tone.
Yeah.
There will be better prompting and all of that. But I think right now we are in a moment where we all do go, oh, that is AI slop, and that is going to take me a little bit of time to untangle it.
More time to untangle it, especially like little things, because in healthcare there is such a demand to be data driven, and you're asking these AI platforms to be data driven, but sometimes you're checking these sources and it's it's a complete hallucination or it's a misinterpretation, which makes sense. These AI systems are combing the web, so Mars right, but in healthcare there's no room for that.
No, there's absolutely no room for that. Yeah.
Amazing. Any final thoughts or anything before we let you go?
No, I think that was awesome. I loved seeing you here at Health.
Yeah.
I loved getting a chance to talk to the audience here. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Bye to everyone.